Hi everybody, welcome to part 3 of our Java Swing Tic Tac Toe tutorial. We're just about there. We need to code our check rows function, which is going to find out if there's a row winner, check calls and check diags. We also need to code the flip player function. In fact, let's start with this one, flip player. So this function or method does not return anything. It simply updates the current player. Pretty simple logic. If our current player, which is a string, is currently X, then we're just going to set it to be O. And if it's not X, it means it's O, so we're going to set it to the X. So that's really the flip player function. That's all it does. Now let's look at our check rows function. It returns a Boolean to tell us if there's a winner or not, a row winner. Okay, and the check win function uses that to determine if it needs to return itself true or false. Okay, so this method returns a Boolean. So let's code it. Public Boolean check rows. Now the logic for this is the top row. Let's just look at a row here. The top row, let's look at another row. The top row occupies indexes 0, 1, and 2 of our buttons array. Remember, we've got this 9 length buttons array. Okay, so at indexes 0, 1, and 2, we've got the top row. The middle row is indexes 3, 4, 5, and the last row is indexes 6, 7, and 8. So what we're going to say here is if buttons 0, which is this first one here, dot get text is the same as current player, because remember the player has just clicked a button, so now we're checking if that click has resulted in a win. Okay, so if button 0 dot get text equals current player and buttons 1 dot get text dot equals current player and buttons 2 dot get text dot equals current player. If they're all the same, those 3 buttons, which represent the top row, if that's true, then we're going to return true. Now let's do the same logic for the next row, which is 3, 4, and 5. That's the second row. If the second row all have the same value, then we're going to return true. And we'll do the same for the last row. So the last row is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, if none of those are true, it means that there isn't a row winner, so we're going to return false. So that's the logic of the check rows method. I'm going to copy all that, and I'm going to use similar logic for our check calls. Now let's just put some X's in again. So this column here, our indexes 0, 3, and 6. So if button 0, buttons 3, and button 6, if they're all the same as the current player, we're going to return true. The next column is 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7. 1, 4, 7. And the final column is 2, 5, 8. And if none of that's true, we're going to return false. Now let's just align this a bit better. There we go. Now let's copy that and do the same for diags, our check diags method. Now there are only 2 diagonals, so we don't need that third set of if statements. Let's just try and figure out. I shouldn't have deleted that, should I? The first diagonal is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4, 8. So if 0 is the same as 4, which is the same as 8, it means we have a diagonal winner. We'll return true. And the other diagonal, this one, is 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. So if that diagonal, if they're all the same, we'll return true. And if none of that's true, we will return false, meaning there's no diagonal winner. Okay, so we've done all the logic for those 3 functions. What's left to do? We've done flip player. Tell you what, I don't think we have reset the game. Where do we reset the game? I've completely forgotten about that aspect. Ah, yeah. So this is in our action performed method. If there's a winner, we're going to display a dialog box, but after that, we need to reset the game. So let's create a function, a method, to do that for us. If there's a winner, we'll display the winner, and then we'll reset. If there's a tie, we'll display the tie, and we'll call the reset function. Notice how useful it is to design functions. You can just call them when you need them. This is modular programming, breaking a program down into a series of functions or methods. Call it when you need it. Very useful. So reset game doesn't return anything. It just sets all of the buttons back to a blank text and sets the current player to X again. Public void reset game. We're just going to loop through our buttons. And we're just going to make each of them, each button in the array, back to an empty string. And we're going to set the current player back to X. Let's just say X always starts the game. Oh, we also need to re-enable the buttons because we disabled them as we were playing the game. So let's call the setEnabled method again. And this time we're going to set them to be true. So that should reset the game. Let's play the game. Does it work? Boom, flip, boom, flip, boom. Let's win. Yay! Okay, we should reset the game. Yes. And that, guys, is Java Swing-based Tic Tac toe.